Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm Knight of Squires and this is Warhammer Total War 2 multiplayer. As always, if this is your first time with me, welcome. If not, welcome back to another exciting episode of the KoS multiplayer challenge. We've been playing some interesting games over the course of the last few weeks in the background, and today we have a series of battles between Balian97 and Mandos Mizu. With the first one being Norska versus Empire, so let's get that underway immediately. So here we are. We have Mandos playing the Norskans, and we have Balian97 with the Empire. Mandos has brought a fairly standard list for him, actually, honestly. We've got the Marauder Chieftain, the obligatory Fire Wizard, 2 units of Marauders, Marauder Spearmen, the Icehorn Marauders, some Berserkers, some Hunters with Javelins, a unit of Horsemen, the 2 units of Skinwalkers he brings every game, and the 2 Mammoths, 2 Feral Mammoths at this point. Balian has brought a fairly balanced and universal Empire list with Karl Franz, 4 units of Spears, 2 units of Swords, 4 units of Handgunners, a unit of Demigryph Knights and a unit of Demigryph Knights with Halberds, and 2 Hellstorm rocket batteries. A nice, balanced, well-rounded list to combat this obviously very melee intensive with 2 very large creatures and quite fast, actually, with the Marauder Horsemen and the 2 Skinwalker units. Mandos's list is very fast. Balian, once again, no magic. If you go back through his games throughout this tournament, Balian has never yet brought a wizard to the battle, as he does not enjoy magic. He does not like magic. He's a true son of Sigmar and distrusts magic terribly. So, we have the 2 Mammoths. They're not feral, actually. These are the regular Mammoths, my mistake. 2 regular War Mammoths, meaning that they have missiles and they're not likely to just rampage. They are armoured, armour-piercing, anti-infantry, and cause terror. These things are huge and surprisingly potent, honestly. Surprisingly potent. Cost a lot of gold. The Icehorn Marauders, Spearmen, 2 units of Marauders, and the Berserkers, backed up by the Hunters with Javelins, 2 units of Skinwalkers, Marauder Chieftain on horseback, and the Fire Wizard also on horseback. Most of Mandos's army is hiding in the woods, obviously expecting a large amount of artillery from Balian97, which, as we've seen, is about right. Balian's army has an awful lot of ranged assets to protect. 4 units of handgunners here on the flanks, 2 Hellstorm rocket batteries in the rear. But it has got Karl Franz on Deathclaw with the Reichland Runefang and Galmaraz. 4 units of Spearmen, 2 units of Swordsmen, 2 units of Demigryphs, 1 with Halberds, 1 without. So this should be good, and the Marauder Horsemen for Balian are here in the background, waiting to jump on these cannon crews and probably get quite a nasty surprise from those Demigryphs with Halberds. So I kind of want to watch this from this side, given that I don't imagine the Empire list is going to do too much moving around. So without further ado, let's get started. So the cold wind blows, the weather rains down upon the battlefield, fouling up some of the black powder, I'm sure, although the men of the Empire are well trained and keep it in nice pouches and things. So the handgunners immediately pull back to ensure that the box is created to protect the artillery, as the Norskans are not yet moving. Nobody's moved yet on either side. Marauder Horsemen are still here in the woods. No movement. Almost a minute in, neither player has moved. And then the Norskans are on the move. There we go. 2 units of Skinwalkers begin their march right the way down this tree line. I believe the entire Norskan infantry is going to attempt to run up the tree line to avoid getting shot by the artillery. Skinwolves need to be careful on that bend. A few of them became visible there. I don't know if that was how that works for the Empire, but Karl Franz is going scouting. This could be problematic for him, as those javelins from the Marauder Hunters will do an absolute number on him. Will do an absolute number on him if he isn't careful. And if he decides to come after those Skinwolves, they are going to do quite a lot of damage to him as well. He is a large target, and they are anti-large. But it looks like he's going to spot them because he's coming in to have a look. It's whether or not he decides he can take them on his own is entirely up to Balian97, although he is looking in the wrong woods at this point. He's looking in the wrong woods. We get a lot of people just kind of scouting out at this point. Karl Franz has fallen all the way over here looking for somebody and not seen anyone. All the while, Mandos's army is rearranging in the woodlands, making sure that they're ready for this ambush. And the Mammoths have started the move. The Mammoths have begun their advance. The artillery crews are not yet in range. And I don't know if something like the War Mammoths is not really the target they want, because the War Mammoths are single entities and Hellstorm rocket batteries are notoriously inaccurate. So, having not seen anything, Karl Franz has decided to come back to his lines, giving leadership bonuses to all of his units here, along with stand your ground. The Fire Wizard moves up. There's an awful... and here we go. The Empire army has clearly decided that standing here all day is not going to work, so they have decided to advance. The swordsmen are flanking out to... I think they're wanting to increase the size of the box, and the artillery is turning. They've clearly seen that something is in the woods over there. Or are they just moving forwards? I think they're actually just moving forwards, potentially to get the Mammoths in range. The Demigryphs are being left slightly behind. This unit with halberds and this unit with lances being left slightly behind. I wonder if Balian will move them back up with him. We will see in a moment. The Mammoths, off they go. Off go the Mammoths. Into the woods. Really? The Mammoths are going into the woods. Yes, because trees will hide such creatures. They must be some hefty, hefty trees. And it looks like Mandos's army has come out to play now. Has come out of the woods, and the rockets are answering. Let's see how this goes for these poor marauders. Well, so far. So far, no damage, not a single strike. Horribly inaccurate. That one hit, killed one guy. Horribly inaccurate fire. Hitting everything that's not a marauder at this point. But that one, good shot, straight into the middle of the unit, killed another 3 guys. They are surviving surprisingly well so far. The hunters less so, and the berserkers less. The berserkers did alright. Spearmen are in slightly tighter blocks. And now the units have stopped moving. That is exactly not what they want. Here comes Franz into the enemy. Wants to be careful of these javelins. Anti-large javelins will put some serious hurt on him very quickly. And the handgunners have opened up into the marauders with shields, so they'll take a little less damage, but like they broke real fast. Berserkers, Franz has taken a small amount of damage, but not a lot. But Balian has now opened the box. His cavalry have moved out of the way of the artillery, so the Marauder Horsemen could get in at this stage if they wanted to. Demigryph Knights with halberds, anti-large, probably not wanting to come over here really, but they have done. And the War Mammoths are into the Empire lines, spearmen going flying. Both Mammoths are in, getting pummeled by this rocket battery, but honestly, just ripping through the Empire infantry, coming after the ranged units now as searing bolts of doom come down on the cavalry, but they have sensibly moved out of the way. And Karl Franz is engaging the enemy lord. He has popped both the Reichland Runefang and Gal Maraz, giving him a huge DPS bump, and the enemy lord has shaken and run off. The Skinwolves came out of the woods but weren't able to catch him, and a burning head going straight down that Imperial line, doing huge amounts of damage there. All while the War Mammoths just wreck the Imperial infantry lines, absolutely crushing them. The Berserkers are in, and the cavalry come in now, and thus here come the Marauders. Marauder Horsemen coming after the artillery crews and ranged fire units. The Demigryph Knights against 2 units of Skinwolves. This is not where they want to be. The Demigryph Knights with halberds getting absolutely jibbed in that combat. Lost a lot of soldiers, and in comes a burning bolts down on all these spearmen. And it's going to do horrendous amounts of damage. Here it comes. Look at that. So much damage. The Demigryph Knights with halberds have been seen off. And now Karl Franz is engaging again. He's broken both units of Skinwolves. They are not immune to psychology. They have frenzy, so until their leadership breaks they are. But unfortunately their leadership has broken on this unit. This unit is okay, but Karl Franz taking a lot of firepower from the Marauder Javelins. Taking quite a lot of hurt. The other unit of Demigryphs have engaged the Shaman Sorcerer, trying to get rid of him, I think. But the entire Empire line has broken. They are fleeing. Everybody is broken. The Sorcerer is broken, but the entire Empire line is running away. They're not coming back, I don't think. It's down to Karl Franz, as pretty much the Empire units are beginning to rally over here, and thus get some shots into things like this remaining War Mammoth. But the large terror-causing entity is just going to break things left, right, and centre. Karl Franz has broken. The enemy general plus 2 units of Skinwolves, just too much for him to handle. Let's head to this to the loading screen, or the end screen, and 73 kills from the Berserkers and 100 kills each from the 2 War Mammoths was far more than the Empire line could handle. 50 kills, 20 kills, and aside from that, basically nothing throughout the entire Empire line. The Mammoths just absolutely chumped their way through that Empire line. There was very little they could do about it. What a brutal first game. What an absolutely brutal first game. With that, we will head over to the second game, which is, I believe, High Elves versus Bretonnia. That is currently 1-0 to Mandos. So here we are. We have a Lithanar from Mandos, along with a Life Mage, 3 units of Spearmen, a unit of Phoenix Guard, 3 units of Sisters of Avalon, a unit of Illyrian Reavers, and Illyrian Reavers with bows, and a Sun Dragon. Fairly standard High Elf build there. And from Balian we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units of Knights Errant, 2 units of Royal Hippogriff Knights and King Lewin Leoncoeur, a unit of Mounted Yeomen, and a unit of Grail Knights here. And that's it. 5 units of Knights Errant, a unit of Mounted Yeomen, and a unit of Grail Knights. There's the Illyrian Reavers. And here is the rest of Mandos' army. A Sun Dragon, Phoenix Guard, Spears, 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 Archers, 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 all Sisters of Avalon. A Lithanar himself, and a Life Mage. And then alongside that we have the other Illyrian Reaver unit over here. This should be a really good match. Balian really favours his Bretonnians. He's very, very good with them. He enjoys them a lot. Whilst he once again has brought no wizard, he has brought an entire cavalry army It's very fast, very difficult to protect 3 ranged units in this. But the Sun Dragon should be pretty handy here, although there's a lot less anti-large in this one than there would be in a normal Bretonnian list, because there are no Knights of the Realm. So the only anti-large in Balian's entire army is that unit of Grail Knights. Now granted, that's a unit of Grail Knights which have perfect vigor, which means that they never get tired. They are pretty much they're an absolute killing machine. They are incredible. Grail Knights are amazing units. The Living Saints ability, they are truly the best in men. They have magic attacks. They have bonus versus large of 12. They just do an obscene amount of damage. Obscene. They're immune to psychology, as I say, perfect vigor. They have the Blessing of the Lady, which is physical resistance until their leadership breaks, which is very hard to do because they don't get tired. And they have the Lance formation if they so choose, which gives a boatload of other bonuses. So let's see how this match goes. And we have begun. So there's no artillery in either list here, so it's just a case of kind of charging across the battlefield and seeing how it goes. The Phoenix Guard are big, armor-piercing, anti-large. These guys are great for receiving cavalry charges and dealing with them. The High Elf Spearmen also all have anti-large and charge defense against large, meaning they're going to be a real pain for those Knights of the Grail to deal with. The Knights of the Lady do not want to be dealing with so many large or anti-large units. The Life Mage could be enough to keep them all in the fight for a protracted period. And here come the Mounted Yeomen and the Hippogriff Knights. The Sun Dragon here, big scaly beastie, has got several units of its own Sun Breath. And Elithanar is having a wander in the woods still. So here's the Bretonnian army. There's the 2 units. Aha, here's the fight between the Illyrian Reavers and these Knights Errant. I don't think these Knights are ever going to catch these Illyrian Reavers, so that should be a pointless engagement for them. They'll chase them for a little while now, while the other unit of Knights Errant comes this way, and the various other units of Knights break free. The Sisters of Avalon are all shooting at Luan Leoncoeur and doing a huge amount of damage. He jukes out of the way of some of the shots, but a huge amount of damage coming into him. And then the Royal Hippogriff Knights start taking their fair share as well. Elithanar opens up. Leoncoeur takes a boatload of damage straight off the bat and comes down into the Sisters of Avalon. And then down come the Hippogriffs to deal with the rest of the Sisters. That could be a huge problem for Mandos. Down into the Life Mage, Elithanar hoping to deal with this unit, but with all of his ranged units now shut off, this could be a real problem. He does not have the capacity to stop all of this ranged power, and as such, like, the amount of cavalry coming in is just brutal. It's completely collapsed his front lines. The Phoenix Guard, however, are doing an absolute number on Leoncoeur. These Knights Errant and the Hippogriff Knights are getting quite badly battered at this point, but now 1 unit of Sisters and 1 unit of Spears have completely broken, and Balian still has 2 Knights Errant in the woods there waiting. Here are the unit of Grail Knights cycle charging into the Sisters of Avalon and just murdering them. The Sun Dragon is doing a number on Leoncoeur, but is now entirely surrounded by Royal Hippogriff Knights. The Phoenix Guard, Leoncoeur has pushed out, but the Illyrian Reavers have trapped him because they have the mass to stop him. The Life Mage has cast down magic to stop things moving around, I believe. which is really nice. Let's keep things here. The dragon has broken. I believe the Grail Knights have seen the dragon off. The Knights Errant have decided that they're not sticking around today, but the Grail Knights have lost so many models to this dragon, who is dead. That's it. That's the end of the dragon. And in come another unit of Knights Errant. And the unit that went off to go and chase the Illyrian Reavers is still going. They're still chasing them, but they've actually broken now because they can't stop them. Alithanar is all the way over there for some reason. Not sure what he's doing over there. Units of Knights are beginning to break, but the Phoenix Guard are pretty much the only thing still holding in here. Units of Spearmen and Sisters of Avalon are breaking, and just the charge from every direction. Units of Spearmen and Sisters are beginning to rally in various places. Illyrian Reavers will rally there, but it is pretty brutal here. Alithanar's arrows launching into Leoncoeur. Not enough at this stage. I think it's too little too late. And the Hippogriffs come to deal with these Illyrian Reavers, who are now almost out of ammunition. And these Illyrian Reavers will have rallied and will probably charge in shortly. I believe an Earthblood has gone down to protect the Phoenix Guard. Yep, an Earthblood to restore the Phoenix Guard, as they just absolutely chunk through Knights Errant. Grail Knights have only got 12 dudes left. But the cycle charging, I think at this point the other Knights are actually getting in the Knights' way. They need to sort of spread out and let one Knight unit charge at a time, I think. Units of Knights are breaking one after another. The cycle charges are getting a little messy now, but they're just going to wear them down at this stage. I think they're just going to wear them all down. The Phoenix Guard are starting to get quite badly wounded, and units of Knights Errant come charging off into the Sisters of Avalon, who get a few shots off before they get there, but not enough to stop them being completely run over. The units of Knights Errant are trying to form up in a lance formation, but there's enough Phoenix Guard to just cause them some difficulties there. That unit of Knights Errant are wavering, they're broken. The Phoenix Guard are pretty terrifying, honestly. They've killed 100 guys, all of which are elite Bretonnian cav. The Knights Errant are broken. Where are those Grail Knights gone? Where did the Grail Knights go? Did they run off over here? I think they ran over here. No? I have no idea where those Grail Knights have gone. Oh, I think they were in the woods potentially. No? Did the Grail Knights all die? I think the Grail Knights are all dead. That astounds me. I think all the Grail... Oh no, here they are. There's like 6 of them left. They're on death's door. No leadership. They did in fact break, meaning they lost the Blessing of the Lady. But they have now rallied, and they are coming back in to try and deal with these Phoenix Guard. The Hippogriff Knights... There's like one Hippogriff Knight here, and he's decided to charge the big anti-large thing on the battle. And they're gone. Like, he's broken. He's not coming back. He's decided he's leaving. He's got 85 health left. He's decided he's going home. Those Knights are gone. And the Grail Knights actually broke. Shattered completely. They're not coming back. And the Phoenix Guard are coming for a rear charge into these 2 Knights Errant units. This is the problem with Knights Errant, is that they just don't have the leadership to sustain these long engagements against targets that have got something to deal with them. I think King Leoncoeur is about to get shot out of the sky by Alithanar. He has 90 health left, and he's decided instead to shoot 2 Knights Errant straight off their horses, breaking that unit. The Illyrian Reavers scaring them off, charging, engaging them long enough for the Phoenix Guard, who are very tired at this point, to scare them off as well. Completely outnumbered. They are shaking. And Leoncoeur is down. Shot, sniped by Alithanar himself. Just sniped completely out of left field. And the Bretonnians have got very little left at this point. It's these 3-4 Hippogriff riders who are looking to get rid of Alithanar, except that he just completely broke them. What a close game. Those Phoenix Guard performed amazingly. Let's have a look at that end screen and see how well they actually did. That was incredible. So the Grail Knights got 140 kills. There's like 60, 70, 50. Like everybody in the Bretonnian list killed 30 guys plus, except this unit here, but we won't talk about them too much. Like, and that unit there. Shush. Amazing performance from the Knights of the Lady there, but these Phoenix Guard killing 116 Knights, a large chunk of which were Grail Knights. These spears killed 11. Alithanar killed 31 Knights, which is pretty impressive. The Dragon performed surprisingly poorly. I think it got engaged by the Grail Knights far too early and unfortunately got minced. The Illyrian Reavers did okay, killing 40. Surprisingly, very little in Mandos's list did very much, but the things that did do things performed admirably. And Mandos lost many more men. He deployed many more men, but he lost many more. But at the end of the day, he clawed out that Pyrrhic victory. What a game. That is 2-0 to Mandos, and he will win this round. Great games from both players. I've really enjoyed this one. And as always, if you've enjoyed this, please consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel to see more videos like this in the future. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you all tomorrow.